Welcome to the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. Thanks for joining us today. I want to thank our partners, Lake Sumter State College and United Southern Bank. And today we have Mount Dora High School on with us. We get Coach Luke Hutchinson with Mount Dora High School. Want to welcome you to the program, Coach. Thanks for coming on.
Morning. Thank you for having us. We're excited about it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the season at Mount Dora High School. Coming off of a very successful season last year in 2023, where you were 7-3 overall, nearly made the state playoffs for the first time in many, many years, and looking forward to a great 2024 season. Can you just tell us how the off season's been for you guys?
Yeah, just like everybody, we've been going hard. We really started back. We give the guys November and a little bit of December off, and then January we start right back into getting into the weights, and weightlifting starts as well. And just about all of our football guys are also our weightlifting guys too, if they're not playing basketball or running track or anything like that. February, we started doing field work and stuff and ran that into March. And then into April, had a great spring. Kind of got hit a little bit with some injuries during spring, what gave some younger guys a chance to play. And then we've been full go since we've been on summer break.
Man, can you believe football season is just a couple of weeks away? You got to be excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Monday, we're in pads. We start off in helmets on Monday, and we're ready.
Well, you're coming in with a great group, a good returning group as well. You look at some of the guys coming back. Jake Sepe, quarterback, threw for 1,354 yards last year, 18 touchdowns. But the thing that stands out to me from Jake Sepe is he takes care of the ball. Only 4 interceptions last year, the entire season. You got to be excited about your quarterback coming into
absolutely, and Jake's been awesome. This is his. We started with Jake his freshman year or spring of his freshman year. So he's going into his 3rd year with us, 4th year with us of understanding and knowing the playbook. And he's got a great mind for football.
Yeah.
And when you can protect the ball like that, you're going to win some games.
How important is that to have a guy that's been in the system? Because he's pretty much been your quarterback since you've come to Mount Dora High School.
Right. It's huge. And we've been really fortunate because it's not just Jake. We got a lot of guys coming back that are 3-year returners.
Yeah.
And one of the coaches that came over with me in the first year, we've been talking about it. We knew that first year we were going to be really good on offense, but have some struggles on defense. Mm-hmm. And then last year we knew we were going to be really good on defense, have some struggles on offense. But we've been saying for the last 2 years, this sophomore, well, they were sophomores when we came in. The current senior class is the class that's really going to be lining up and kind of taking things over.
And it was just a couple of years ago that Mount Dora went 1-7. I mean, a couple of years ago they had won 3 games, 1 game. They were averaging 2 wins a season. It was, I believe, since 2017, since there was a winning season. You come in, you change the philosophies at Mount Dora High School, and they become a winning team again. What kind of philosophies do you teach your guys, and why are you a winning football club again?
Well, a lot of that had to do with our first senior class. They really bought into being coached hard and having those high expectations set for them and not letting anybody falter. If you didn't meet those expectations, you weren't going to play. And then there was just no 2 ways about it. And that senior class really set the tone. And I think last year's senior class built on top of that. And these guys that are going to be seniors this year are going to do it even better. Yeah. And that's kind of the expectation. That's really the goal, is to improve every single year.
And you have every single year. I mean, you've gone from 6 wins to 7 wins, and so you come into 2024, probably one of the most difficult schedules you've had since you've been here, Coach.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. When you start winning more and more games, your schedule is going to get more and more difficult. You're going to get certain teams that aren't going to want to play teams that are 7-3 and that kind of stuff. And that's right. We should be playing a much harder schedule.
Yeah.
If you look at it, we should be competitive in every single one of those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously not on the schedule this year is Mount Dora Christian Academy, or you also took Leesburg off the schedule this year, but you have Eastridge on the schedule this year. Very exciting early season matchup between Donnie Birchfield and that building program down there in Claremont. You got to be excited about that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Donnie got hired the same year I did at Mount Dora when he went to Eastridge, and I've known him for a while, and he's a really good guy. And he's a good coach, and his guys are going to be coached up. They're going to be tough, and they're going to be physical, and I think we match up pretty well with them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting game early in the season. You also have Bishop Moore early in the season this year. We talked about the schedule realignment this year for you guys because you're in Class 3A District 6. You've got Atlantic High School, Bishop Moore, Eustis, and Tavares now in your district. So talk about that district and sort of what you expect in 2024, because it's obviously a little bit different coming in and having to play Bishop Moore every year now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Hedrick's actually a Mount Dora alum, so I've talked to him quite a bit. And another great coach that's been at Bishop Moore for a long time. And, he's obviously got a pretty impressive record and history. And we're going to go in there and try to see what we can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a home matchup for you at Mount Dora High School. So that's going to be an exciting one. That's going to be on September 13th. So if you're out there, make sure to attend that one. That's going to be a good one against Bishop Moore. You also have some great wide receivers returning in 2024. You got Tanner Waring. He had 651 yards receiving last year, 6 touchdowns, and averaged 18 yards a catch. And Zyshawn Perry coming back as well. 2 really great receivers that I'm sure Jake Sepe is going to be very glad that they're back.
Oh, absolutely. And Jake's other brother, Blake, is coming in as well for his 3rd year. So those 3 guys are 3-year returning starters for us at the 4 wideout positions. So that's been great to have those guys all 3 years. Yeah. Tanner and Zy, I think I put something up there where they've accounted for almost 3,000 yards between the 2 of them in the last 2 years. And Tanner's actually set. He's only a couple hundred yards away from holding the school record for the most receiving yards.
Wow.
So that should be something pretty special when that happens.
Yeah, definitely something special. He's a great wide receiver, and he's going to hopefully have some college opportunities as well coming his way, which is really exciting. Again, 18 yards per catch last year. That is amazing. So when Jake throws the ball up, I mean, he just goes up and gets it. He's just a stud.
He does a really good job tracking the ball. And then his yards after catch for him and Zyshawn both are phenomenal.
Let's talk about the defense a little bit. Obviously, EJ returning. We'll be talking to him in just a couple of minutes. But you guys lost some guys on the linebacking core for defense. You lost Tommy Wheeler Jr., who graduated, along with Russell Fickett. Between the 2 of them, they had 164 total tackles last year. So how do you replace that in 2024?
Well, we've been fortunate. We kind of moved Russell around a lot. So he was playing not only linebacker, but he'd also play defensive line, and he'd also play running back. So one of our other linebackers, Elijah McGee, was in quite a bit, and he racked up a lot of tackles last year as well. And between him and EJ, our linebacking core is going to be pretty solid. Yeah,
looking forward to a great year. As far as you go as a coach, you've been here the last couple of years. What are you most proud about at Mount Dora the last couple of years that you've seen from a coaching standpoint?
From a coaching standpoint, it'd be the stuff that nobody sees. The everyday stuff. Our kids they really are phenomenal, and they're great kids. They're hardworking guys. They just go above and beyond. Yeah. And I think when you see that on campus, in January or February when it's not football season, that's really what stands out to me.
Another thing that stands out is both these guys that we're about to bring onto the program, they both have above a 4.0 GPA. You talk about Jake Sepe, 4.8 GPA. EJ's got a 4.2 GPA. Academics are so important, and I'm sure you stress that.
Absolutely, and that's what opens the door, for college. And at the end of the day, that's everybody's goal. Is how can we get these guys to college? And academics opens up the most doors.
Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with quarterback Jake Sepe for Mount Dora High School when we return on the Sports Hub podcast.
Is pain or restricted range of motion keeping you on the sidelines? Get back in the game with expert orthopedic care from UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics provides robotic-assisted surgical joint repairs and replacements, post-operative care, and inpatient rehabilitation services, all close to home, right here in Lake and Sumter counties. And for those unexpected injuries, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics offers convenient walk-in and same-day appointments. To learn more or to schedule an appointment with one of their specialists, call 352-323-5665.
Hey everybody, we're back on the Sports Hub podcast talking with Mount Dora High School football. We get Jake Sepe on along with head coach Luke Hutchinson. Thanks for coming on to the program, Jake.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to great things out of you this season. You're coming into your senior year. Had a great season last year. You threw for over 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. You had 17 through the air, and then you rushed for a touchdown as well. Only 4 interceptions last year. So you're looking forward to a great 2024 season. How's your offseason been?
It's been great. We've just nonstop been putting in work. Well, I've also been trying to enjoy my last summer at Mount Dora. So we've been putting in a lot of work, and we're all looking forward to this season.
Yeah, you've been around the program for quite a few years now. You saw the program when it was really at a low point, and then Coach Hutchinson comes around, turns a lot of things around. What's it been like the last couple of years playing for Mount Dora and seeing that turnaround happen?
Well, when Coach Hutch came, the switch kind of flipped, and we all had a super low standard, and when he came, it went from like the lowest standard you could have to the highest. So we've all kind of just bought in and committed to it. Everyone that's on the roster since he came in has all bought in and committed.
Absolutely. So. And that's a great thing, Coach. He talks about coming in, buying into the program, and that is so important to have players feel that way. And that's really the reason I think that you've found success the last couple of years. Would you say?
Yeah, I agree. Some of it's confidence too. Mm-hmm. When you come in and you're rebuilding a program, there's a level of confidence that has to increase, and I think they felt that as well.
So let's talk about Jake. He's coming into his senior year. You've gotten to coach him the last couple of years. What kind of improvements have you seen over Jake the last couple of years?
He's made huge, drastic improvements from day one, just with his footwork, with his arm strength, with understanding the playbook, with understanding not only the playbook but understanding football, and what we're trying to do offensively and how we're trying to dictate certain things to the defense.
And you're coming into 2024. Obviously, this is your last year, so you're coming in and you want to hopefully win a district championship. That would be on the schedule. Last couple of years, you've been close to a district championship. Ran into Eustis last couple of years, but looking forward to 2024. What are your goals for this year?
To win football games. That's always the number one goal. Obviously, I want to move on to the next level and see where I can compete there. But as of right now, my only goal is to win football games and win the district.
Absolutely. And you've got a lot of great guys coming back. You got, of course, Tanner Waring coming back, Zyshawn Perry coming back. Those are 2 great wide receivers. And, of course, your brother coming back from injury last year, Blake Sepe coming back as well. If you guys don't know, and this is going to be in the magazine in a couple of weeks, Blake and Jake, you guys are twins. What is that like to play with your twin brother out there?
I don't think there could be a better feeling, especially with the wide receiver group. I've grown up playing football and just being friends with Tanner Waring, Zyshawn Perry, and Blake, obviously Blake. But me and Tanner have just had a great chemistry ever since we started playing football. Tanner didn't start until his freshman year, and he's just been amazing. Me and Zyshawn played Little League together, and so we've just always clicked. And then me and Blake obviously been playing catch in the backyard since we were little. So
yeah, that's always great when you have a sort of a bond between all your team. And I think that's so unique with Mount Dora High School is a lot of these guys have been playing with each other for a long time, Coach. Mm-hmm. And that definitely bodes well for a successful team. And would you say? Yes,
it does. And like I said earlier, when these guys have all been starting for 3 years, that's something pretty special.
In 2024 coming up, being that this is your senior year, you're now pretty much the leader of the football team. You've played behind a lot of great guys, whether it's Russell Fickett, a lot of guys, Tommy Deuce Wheeler came through the program. Now that you're coming into your senior year, what are your philosophies that you bring to the table? You, especially to the younger guys, you're going to be a leader this year.
Yes, sir. There's obviously different kinds of leaders, and one that really stands out to me, he's actually a current coach now. He just started his first year coaching last year, is Aiden Mendoza. Mm-hmm. He was the starting center. He was a junior when I was a freshman, and his way of leadership is showing his strengths and kind of just leading by example, but also being a vocal leader and not just choosing one. So I think Ada Mendoza has definitely probably been my biggest influence as a leader since I came into high school.
Absolutely. And he not just a leader on the field, but off the field
Yes,
as
for
well,
sure.
especially for yourself, being that you're a leader on the field. You've got an incredible GPA. You've been involved in a lot of things over the last couple of years. Can you tell us what you're involved with when you're not on the football field?
Yes, I help out with the Special Olympics to help the special needs students be involved in the sports that we all love to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Coach, he's involved with a lot of stuff. And
He
I
actually
think that's
coaches
great.
Round Lake
Yeah.
flag football as well, one of our local middle schools.
Mm-hmm.
So he does a lot of stuff, still sports oriented, but outside of him playing.
Well, Jake, let's talk about the upcoming season as well. We've got the schedule right in front of us. A lot of great games on the schedule this year. I think as far as Mount Dora goes, this is one of the toughest schedules that Mount Dora's had in years. You've got East Ridge on the schedule early in the year. You got Bishop Moore on the schedule, South Lake. So a lot of really interesting games early in the season that should tell us a lot about the program. What game are you most looking forward to in 2024?
I would have to say Bishop Moore, just because
Yeah.
when everyone sees the schedule, they come to, oh, y'all have to play Bishop Moore. Everyone's saying you have to play Bishop Moore. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just what we do. We're going to do what we do no matter what circumstances they are and who we play. We're going to come into every game using the same mentality.
So coming into the season, you guys have a really stout quarterback. You got a good wide receiving core. What are you focusing on a lot? Because I saw Mount Dora run the ball a lot last year. I feel like the run game was really good last year. You've got a couple of returning offensive linemen coming back in 2024. So what does that look like this season?
Well, offensively, we're going to try to be balanced, like everybody. We're going to try to go 50-50 run and pass. And they kind of complement each other because the run game opens up the pass and vice versa. So we'll have a pretty balanced attack.
And then, Jake, what's your favorite? You've had a lot of moments in your career so far. Yeah, you've gone through ups and downs. And what's been your favorite memory at Mount Dora High School as you come into your senior year? Perhaps that memory hasn't happened yet,
Yeah.
but up to this point, what has been your best memory?
So week 2 of my junior year, we played Central High School. It was supposed to be the senior night, but the rain was really bad. But there was still a big crowd because it was supposed to be a senior night.
Yeah.
And it was just a rainy game. You knew we'd have to come in doing the right things. And me and Trent Sims were still kind of going at it for the quarterback position at that time. And I started out in the game, drove down the field, touchdown, my first full drive of the game. And I kind of just felt myself going into that position and finally feeling not content but accepting my spot as, okay, I'm the guy now. Mm-hmm. And I made one play where everything kind of just didn't happen how it was supposed to, and one of the linebackers came in off the edge and he went to just slide right under my legs to tackle me. And he did get me, but I caught myself on the ground and threw a touchdown to Zyshawn Perry. He made a great play, and Tanner made a great block. So the O-line really kept their composure on that play, even when things didn't work out, and gave me those extra few seconds that a quarterback always wishes for. So I think the whole team kind of just did what they were supposed to do, and even though things didn't work out, it still did.
He mentions the offensive line, and so important is the offensive line, and protecting the quarterback. I was an offensive lineman when I played football. What is that looking like this year? You guys got a pretty decent offensive line coming back?
Right. So 2 years ago, we graduated our entire offensive line. Mm-hmm. Last year, we had 5 guys that started on the O-line that were first-year starters playing offensive line. Out of those 5, only 1 graduated. One's moved to a different position on the football team as well. So we got 3 guys that are coming back that are still class of 26. So they're still juniors. 2 that are 26, one's that are 25. So our interior line's going to be pretty dang good.
Absolutely, and hopefully they give you plenty of protection this year, so you can get the ball over to the guys that you need to get them to. You also have Tymier Gaines that's coming on board this season. Right. He's an exciting running back. He's transferring from Eustis, and now he's with you guys. Have you gotten any reps with Tymier so far, and what does that look like?
Yes, I have. We've clicked instantly. Just a ball player, 2 ball players getting together. It's not that hard to get used to things. So we've made a good relationship already. It's only going to get better throughout the season.
As far as relationships go, and you, again, are a senior coming in this year, what is your advice to the young guys? I mean, a lot of these guys coming through, you've had advice, advice through the years handed down to you. What advice do you want to leave Mount Dora and give to these younger guys?
I would definitely say watch the people that are above you. When you're a freshman and sophomore, and even a junior at sometimes, watch a senior that's ahead of you, watch a junior that's ahead of you, and also listen to what the coaches say, not only in a respective way, but in a learning aspect, because of a lot of people think they know what they're doing. And especially as a freshman, a sophomore, 14, 15, 16 years old, you do not know what you're doing most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing to just listen and watch. So I think that would be my best advice, is to just watch and understand the game.
Watching and understanding the game, Coach, that is so important. And I think those are some of the philosophies that you were able to instill in a lot of these guys coming through the program as well.
Right, and it speaks volumes to why his football IQ is as high as it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of football is observational and film work and film study.
Absolutely. Going to have to study up on film. Tough schedule coming up this year, but looking forward to it. And we can't wait to see Jake Sepe out on the field this year. Jake, thank you for coming on to the program today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll be talking to EJ Baldras coming up next on the Sports Hub.
Are you looking for a bank with heart? For over 85 years, United Southern Bank has served businesses and families in Central Florida with excellent customer service and the latest in banking technology and products. USB offers free checking, high-yield savings accounts, residential and commercial loans, and much more. Whatever you're looking for, USB delivers on personalized service and friendly, fast communication. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us online at unitedsouthernbank.com. United Southern Bank. We are united in community. Equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hey, everybody, we are back here on the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. Thanks for joining us today. We are talking with Mount Dora football. I want to welcome onto the program EJ Baldras and as well as Coach Luke Hutchinson joining us on the program as well. EJ, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, EJ, we're looking forward to a great season. You're going to be having to replace some key guys that have left the program last year. Of course, you played with Tommy Wheeler Jr. and then, of course, Russell Fickett in the linebacking core. Both those guys had 164 tackles. And so you actually had close to, I believe, 80 tackles last year as well. So you're coming into 2024 as one of the leading guys. You're coming in as a junior. So what has the offseason been like for you, and what can we expect in 2024?
Losing Russell and Tommy it's a big loss, but of course we have players coming in. They're gonna be able to fill in those positions. But this offseason it's been same thing. You know, everyone's trying to get bigger, faster, and stronger. Been really focusing on my speed mostly, and watching a lot of college linebackers and seeing how they play and stuff like that. Yeah.
They talk about EJ and what he's been able to bring to the program the last couple of years. I mean, he looks like he's a big guy, and especially out on there on the field. That game against Southlake last year, he had a big interception in that game. He's a hard hitter.
He's a hard hitter. He's EJ's one of our quieter guys on the team, but he's a 3-year starter, and I think the guys kind of respect the fact that they see how hard he works. So when I say this guy works in the weight room, I mean he gets after it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just what we're seeing. I know he's doing more stuff outside as well, trying to get better. He's on the weightlifting team as well, and does pretty well with that. But he's another guy that's 3 years. This is his 3rd year starting. It's been starting since a sophomore. Started all last year, going into his senior year starting.
Yeah.
So he understands the defense.
For sure. So you're coming into your senior year. You're going to be a starter here. As far as the defense goes, and what's your favorite thing about playing defense?
Hitting people.
Hitting people, yeah.
Hitting people.
He likes to lay them down. What made you choose the linebacker position? I mean, obviously that's probably one of the best positions as far as hitting people goes.
Yeah, I mean, at linebacker, there's really nothing to it, but go fill in the gap and hit somebody as hard as you can. So it's just fun to do.
It is definitely fun to do, especially if you're a defensive guy and have a lot of aggression for sure. Last couple of years you've spent with Mount Dora High School. You've seen the program come through some difficult times, and then now you're at a point where you can go out and win football games and feel confident about that. What is it like to play under a coach like Luke Hutchinson?
I mean, Coach Hutch, he sets a very high standard for people, and I feel if you don't try, there's no way you meet it. And I mean, everybody comes in, they buy in, right? And it's something you have to give your all for, but it's worth it because you win games.
Absolutely. What's one of the things that you've learned about yourself personally the last couple of years? Something that maybe Coach Hutchinson or some of the staff that has taught to you?
It's okay to mess up, but you gotta keep your head up. Make sure you keep trying. It's always the next play, and yeah.
There's always the next play. That's very important. He's talking about taking accountability, and that is something I find very important. Is take the accountability, but make sure to learn from a coach.
Right. Yeah, and we talk about accountability and these guys holding each other accountable. And when it comes to messing up, I say it pretty regular. You know, it's okay to make a mistake. You just got to make new mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, and mistakes get made, but you learn from them, whether it's offensive or defensive, even special teams. I mean, special teams still a very big impact. You had a really good special teams guy last year,
right.
The long snapper there, I'm blanking on his name, Trent Sims, who was also going out for quarterback last year, but good long snapper. He's going to a college program. Talk about him.
Yeah, Trent ended up signing with Mississippi Valley State. So he's going to play Division I football and long snap for them. Last I talked to him a few weeks ago, he had gone up there and visited the school and everything. I'm not sure if he's already reported. I'm assuming he has.
Yeah.
But he was also trying to work baseball in there as well because he's a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, very very exciting for Trent Sims and what he's got going on. You look at players like that, and they're going to Division I programs, and a lot of these guys are going to colleges. You got a 4.2 GPA, which is really exciting for you. Not just a good football player, but you're also a smart guy off the field. So can you talk about sort of the academic side as well, and sort of balancing football, academic? You're a busy guy. You got football, you're a weightlifter, you do a lot of things. How do you balance it all?
I feel like school and football is very similar. Stuff that you have to study for, put time in, and the hard part is showing up, right? So you show up to class, you show up to practice, you're gonna get better, you're gonna get good grades. So yeah.
Yeah, and he has good grades, 4.2 GPA, and not just him, but we talked to Jake Sepe just a moment ago, 4.8 GPA that he has. You got a lot of smart guys on this team, and Marlene Strawn, she was the principal last year. She's obviously moved on to new things, but I think that Principal Strawn, what she was able to bring to the program was just a focus, not on just athletics, but academics, and I find that to be really a great thing, Coach.
Absolutely, and it all starts with the administration. Mm-hmm. You know, without the right administration in there, it can make football guys or sports guys, coaches' lives a lot more difficult. And I'm very grateful for Marlene and everything she's done for me personally. Mm-hmm. And also holding not just the football guys and the other athletes to a high standard, but the entire school.
Yeah. AJ, we got fantastic schedule in front of us right here. We talked with Jake Sepe just a couple of moments ago about what's going on for the season schedule. You're in Class 3A District 6. You've got Bishop Moore on the schedule this season. You've got Tavares. You've got a lot of different groups of some really good teams on the schedule this year. Is there any game that you've circled on the schedule that you're most excited about?
I want to beat Bishop Moore.
Yeah.
Beat Bishop Moore because people hold them to a very high standard, and I feel like we're the underdogs. People look at us as the underdogs, and I just want to prove out there and show people that we're not.
What does that feel like to be an underdog? I mean, some guys that are always at the top, Bishop Moore is always at the top, a lot of these schools are always at the top, but to come in as an underdog, especially when you win, it must feel so sweet.
Yeah, it's just that like bittersweet feeling. You know people were looking down on you, but you showed them that they were wrong.
EJ says you guys are underdogs, but I think Mount Dora is coming in this year with a really good chance to be a really good football team, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely are. I think that coming into this season, based on the last two, we have a chance to do something pretty special. We talk a lot about, taking every game one game at a time. Mm-hmm. And the common opponent, the common team in every single one of those games on there is us. So that's our job, is to focus on us and prepare week by week.
So let's ask this question. In 2024, what does a successful season look like? This is the first season in the new district. Does a successful season, does it hark on beating Bishop more? Is it just, doing the best you can? Is it having a winning record? What makes a successful season in 2024?
The last 2 seasons, there's been one game each season that's really upset me, like after the game. And not necessarily upset at the kids, but last year I felt like there was a game where we got outcoached as coaches. The year before I felt like there was a game that we made way too many mental mistakes that led to big turnovers. And for me, a successful season this year would be not having that feeling that we lost to a team that we should have beat. And that's what I think the difference will be.
Absolutely. EJ, as far as you go in 2024, you're coming into one of your final seasons here playing football. Hopefully you go on and have a successful college career. What is most important to you in 2024? What will be a successful season for you in your mind?
Winning districts. We've fallen short the last 2 seasons, and senior season we got to go out, win districts. We haven't done in Mount Dora in a very long time, so.
I don't even remember the last time Mount Dora won a district, so I'd have to go way back in the stat books for that, but it's been quite a while since Mount Dora has won a district, so that would be really good things, and especially to potentially make the playoffs. I think that this team has the potential to make the playoffs this season. You talk about a playoff push. Is that attainable this season, Coach?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you look at our region and our district and our region and our strength of schedule and what we have the ability to do by focusing on ourselves, and I think it is very attainable.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Sports Up. EJ, thank you so much for coming on to the program. Looking forward to your season and everything that you're going to do defensively. You're going to be a defensive anchor this year for Mount Dora High School, so looking forward to it. Any other advice that you have for young guys coming up through the program? You've been through the program the last couple of years. Any pieces of advice?
You need to buy in 100%. That's something a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand why the coaches do something, but it all has a reason. So you have to buy in, trust the process, and show up to class.
Show up to class, buy into the process, and good things will happen. True words, Coach. Thank you for coming on to the program today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sports Hub podcast. I'm Kyle Coppola. Thanks for joining us. Want to thank our partner, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics, as well as Lake Sumter State College and United Southern Bank. We'll see you next week on the next edition of the Sports Hub podcast.
This has been the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.